Dandelo is one of the strangest and most overlooked villains in Stephen King's universe. He never appeared in movies, has no iconic form, and never became a pop culture symbol. Even so, he stands among the most dangerous creatures King ever created. Unlike monsters that attack with violence or fear, Dandelo kills while smiling. He hides behind bad jokes, silly stories, and a false sense of comfort, waiting for the right moment to feed. Dandelo appears in the Dark Tower 7 when Roland and his quartet are physically and emotionally exhausted. He lives in isolation, like a harmless hermit, someone who seems more pitiful than frightening. That is his greatest weapon. He poses no obvious threat. On the contrary, he appears fragile, needy, almost childlike. Stephen King builds Dandelo to make both characters and readers lower their guard completely. The most disturbing detail is that Dandelo does not feed on flesh, blood, or fear directly. He feeds on positive emotions: laughter, relief, nostalgia, emotional comfort. Every laugh he draws from a victim is not joy, it is extraction. While the person laughs, their life force is slowly drained. There is no immediate pain, no panic, just a growing fatigue, as if something were being stolen from the inside out. This type of predator is far more dangerous than any traditional monster. Fear triggers survival instincts. Fear makes you run, fight, scream. Laughter makes you stay. Laughter creates bonds. Laughter convinces the victim that everything is safe. Dandelo does not need to chase anyone. He only needs you to sit, listen, and laugh for a few minutes. When awareness finally arrives, the body is already too weak to react. Stephen King leaves clear clues that Dandelo is not human, nor a simple mutant. The smell in the air, the invisible pressure, the discomfort that grows even during moments of humor. Everything points to an extra-dimensional entity, something that does not belong to this plane yet understands human psychology perfectly. Dandelo does not improvise. He studies. He observes. He knows exactly which emotion to exploit. This is where a crucial connection emerges. Dandelo belongs to the same family of creatures as Pennywise the Thing. Both come from the Todash, the space between realities where ancient, hungry entities dwell. The difference is not their origin, but their method. Pennywise hunts through fear. Dandelo hunts through happiness. Two sides of the same cosmic predator, adapted to consume specific human emotions. This revelation completely reshapes how the Kingverse is understood. Evil is not uniform. It adapts. Some entities feed on terror, others on pain, others on hope. Dandelo proves that positive emotions can also be weapons against us. He turns what should save us into slow poison. Stephen King makes it clear that the universe is full of invisible predators, waiting only for the right emotion to strike. During the encounter with Dandelo, something begins to feel wrong. The jokes are too bad. The stories feel disjointed. The laughter comes more from discomfort than genuine amusement. And yet, the characters remain. The body starts to fail. Vision blurs, strength fades, and still the smile persists. Dandelo creates an emotional prison where the victim laughs while dying, without understanding why. This is one of the most mature horrors Stephen King has ever written. There are no jump scares, no chases, only misplaced trust. Dandelo represents the kind of threat that only works when you believe you are safe. He does not need darkness. He does not need grotesque masks. He only needs you to feel comfortable enough to ignore the obvious warning signs. Compared to Pennywise, Dandelo is far more efficient. Pennywise must frighten, transform, manipulate the environment. Dandelo simply talks. Pennywise provokes resistance. Dandelo dissolves it. While it creates trauma, Dandelo creates momentary emotional dependence. That is why many readers consider him even more dangerous. He leaves no room for reaction. He kills without ever appearing to be a villain. There is also a powerful symbolic element. Dandelo feeds on laughter, but his jokes are not funny. This suggests he does not understand human humor. He only imitates its structure. Just as Pennywise does not truly understand fear, only reproduces it. These entities do not share our emotions, they simulate them as tools. Predators who learned the emotional language of humanity without ever truly comprehending it. The environment where Dandelo lives reinforces this idea. A place frozen in time, disconnected from the world, almost like a bubble outside reality. These locations appear repeatedly in the Kingverse, always linked to dimensional fractures, places where normal rules do not apply. Dandelo does not live there by accident. He chose a point where reality is fragile, making his existence and feeding easier. When Dandelo's true nature begins to reveal itself, there is no explosion or epic confrontation. The horror comes from silent realization. Something is wrong. Something was always wrong. The creature does not need to reveal its true form. The simple act of continuing to drain energy while maintaining the disguise is more than enough. Stephen King relies on suggestion, not exposure, making the threat far more unsettling. Dandelo also reinforces a central idea of the Dark Tower. Evil does not always appear as something that must be fought immediately. Sometimes it arrives as rest, as pause, as comfort in the middle of exhaustion. Roland and his companions are tired, wounded, emotionally drained. Dandelo appears at the perfect moment. He does not create weakness, he simply takes advantage of it. This pattern repeats throughout Stephen King's work. True evil observes, waits, and acts when the victim is vulnerable. Dandelo embodies this concept perfectly. He does not invade. He welcomes. He does not force. He invites. That makes him one of the clearest examples of psychological horror in the Kingverse, proving that the deadliest threat is not always the one that strikes first. The absence of Dandelo from film adaptations does not diminish his importance. If anything, it preserves him as a dark secret for attentive readers, a reminder that Stephen King's universe goes far beyond its famous villains. Dandelo was never meant to be visually iconic. He was meant to create conceptual discomfort. The idea of dying while laughing is more disturbing than any monster with fangs. Once we understand Dandelo, Pennywise is no longer unique. He becomes part of an ecosystem of entities that exploit specific human emotions. This expands the Kingverse in terrifying ways. How many other creatures exist, feeding on different feelings? Guilt, love, faith. Dandelo opens that door and never closes it. He proves that humanity is an emotional resource exploitable on multiple levels. This interpretation makes the Dark Tower even darker. It is not only a journey against external forces, it is a passage through a universe where even the most basic emotions can be weaponized against you. Dandelo does not want to destroy the world. He wants to survive. And to do that, he consumes what makes us human. Laughter stops being relief and becomes risk. The cruelest part is that Dandelo takes no pleasure in what he does. There is no explicit sadism. He simply feeds. Like Pennywise, he does not hate his victims. He sees them as a resource. This makes him even more alien. There is no negotiation, no redemption, only cold, constant emotional consumption until the human body can no longer endure. Dandelo represents a type of horror that does not work in trailers or fast scenes. He requires time, build-up, gradual discomfort. That is why he is perfect for a long-form video. His story does not scream. It whispers, and the more you listen, the clearer it becomes that something is wrong. Stephen King created a villain who infiltrates the mind, not visual memory. In the end, Dandelo leaves us with a disturbing question. How often do we laugh just to avoid silence? How often do we accept strange comfort because we are too tired to question it? Dandelo is not just a creature of the Kingverse. He is a cruel metaphor for emotional vulnerability. He exists where defenses fall, where exhaustion wins, where laughter becomes a survival mechanism. Dandelo proves that evil in Stephen King's universe does not need a defined shape. It only needs to understand human beings. By feeding on happiness, he inverts the logic of traditional horror and shows that not every threat comes from the dark. Some arrive smiling, telling bad jokes, waiting for you to relax for a few minutes. If you want to keep exploring the darkest secrets of the Kingverse, subscribe to the channel and walk with us into the shadows of King.